Fourth District Court is now in session. Judge Roger Griffin presiding.
Thank you. Please be seated. We're back on the record of the matter of State versus Grist, case number 241101170. Court's made some evidentiary rulings off the record. Exhibit 25, there will be a substitute Exhibit 25 provided to you.
It's Exhibit 10. I apologize, not 25.
Exhibit 10, not Exhibit 25?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, so we'll have a substitute Exhibit 10. The original one provided was missing a page. It'll be now corrected. With that in mind, I believe we're ready to bring out the jury.
Can you just give me a moment while I find that exhibit, Your Honor?
Of course.
Okay, I got exhibit 10. And what page?
It's the very last page.
29, but it stops on 28.
I'll just report out real quick. So can you show it? You have the page in there. Tracey sister, yeah. And has that been introduced already? It just wasn't on our version, or is
Just
it
the last page didn't get printed.
just for us, but is it electronically on?
No.
Okay. So it needs to be added electronically for the jury.
Correct.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm just making sure I know what one we're talking about, so we're good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Facemyer?
So I was just pulling that exhibit to make sure that,
You had it, correct?
well, that I not only have it, that I know its context as well. And so we're good to move forward up with it, and no objection.
All right, so we'll move forward. Are you ready to have me bring the jury up?
Yes.
All right, go bring up the jury, please.
All rise for the jury.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hope you have a pleasant weekend. I should give you a brief explanation as to why we're starting today. The attorneys have been working with each other over the weekend on legal matters. After they had worked with each other over the weekend, they had to come chat with me, and we've been working on those since this morning. I was here 7:15, 7:20, somewhere around there, working on getting ready for today's trial. So it's just the dynamic nature of trials, and we always have to be a little flexible with our start-stop times. With that in mind, we're ready to proceed forward. Turn the time over to Mr. Watabe. Please call your next witness.
State calls Tim Ellis.
Mr. Ellis, come forward. I'll swear you in, sir. Just stand right there if you raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under the laws of the state of Utah on penalty of perjury that the testimony you give in this matter today will be true and correct, so help you God. So please have a seat up there in that chair. While you're coming up, let me give you some instructions to make the process go a little easier for you. Please wait for the attorneys to ask any question before you respond. Please give a direct response to yes or no with a proper answer. narrative responses are objectionable, and we would have to stop that. If you don't understand the question, please ask the attorneys to rephrase it, don't guess. Please give me verbal responses. If you nod your head or shrug your shoulders. We get that today, but we don't have a video recorder, so if I get a or an that sounds like a yes today, but on the record, it might sound like more no. So we'll just ask the rest of you guys to have this precise. Fair enough?
Yes.
Thank you. Make sure you speak into the mic. It goes up and down. You can slide the whole thing towards you as well. Mr. Rattani.
Tim, thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I call you Tim, or would you prefer something else?
Tim is okay.
Will you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Timothy Ellis, Timothyellis.
And in what city did you reside in July of 2024?
In Pleasant Grove.
And I'd like to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 1, if we could publish that.
States Exhibit what?
1. We can publish that to the jury. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
And is this your family?
Yes, it is.
Okay, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
And which child are you in the
I'm
family?
the middle child.
Out of 7, you're the exact middle.
Yeah.
And with which siblings do you share a father with?
I share a father with Tara, Katie, and Kevin.
And do any of the other siblings share a father?
Yeah, Rachel and Jacob share a father.
Okay, and does Rory have another father?
She does, but she's the only one.
And how many times has your mom been married?
She's been married 4 times.
Well, let me ask, who is your mom?
My mom is Tracey Grist.
Okay. Your mom's been married 4 times?
Yes.
And who was the first husband that she had?
That would be Stan Ellis.
Is that your father?
Yes, that's my father.
And tell me a little bit about what you remember from that marriage.
I don't remember a ton because of how young I was at the time that they got divorced. So all I really know is my visitation rights on the weekends growing up.
Okay, and was that in California?
Yes.
And so how often would you see your father?
About every other weekend.
Would you stay the night there?
Yes, I would stay the whole weekend.
And would Kevin and Terralyn and Catherine go with you as well?
Mostly Kevin, but Tara and Katie would also come with sometimes.
And would you guys all sleep the night there?
Mainly me and Kevin.
How many nights would you stay there?
So 2 nights, yeah, Friday night, Saturday night.
Do you remember ever Terralyn or Catherine staying the night?
Only on rare occasions, like holidays.
Okay. And tell me about who her second husband was.
Her second husband would be Brian Trujillo.
Okay, and do you remember when they were married?
I was very young. I was probably only like 4 or 5 at the time.
Was it also in California?
Yes.
Okay, and they had 2 kids together, is that right?
Yes.
And how often would Rachel or Jacob see their father?
Not often at all after their divorce.
So they just stayed at home with Tracey?
Yes.
Okay. And who was the next husband?
And then it would be Mark Franz.
Okay. And did Aurora ever go and see her father?
After their divorce, no.
Okay. And then who did she marry next?
And then that would be Bruce Grist.
Okay. And how long was that marriage?
Only, I think maybe like 3 years or so. I can't really fully remember how long.
And so tell me about when did you move from California to Utah?
When I was 14.
And who moved with you?
Me, my mom, Jacob, Rachel, and Rory.
Okay, and where are the other siblings? What did they do?
They're all living on their own at this point. Kevin lives, I believe, with my dad, and then Tara and Katie are doing their own things with their own apartments.
Okay, so what was the family dynamic like as far as the relationship between the siblings?
I thought it was good. Obviously, there was a bit of disconnect after we moved, being further away. But before that, we would see each other all the time.
So probably, would you say you were a close family?
Yes.
And would you say, being in the middle, you saw a lot of things that the other siblings didn't see?
Yeah, 'cause I was able to see both sides.
Was there drama in the family?
Sometimes.
And would people come to you for advice or help?
Not until, obviously I grew up a bit more, so not until later in life would that happen. But yeah, they've come to me for questions about
So
arguments in the past.
What kind of role did you take in your family?
I mean, I like to think as the peacekeeper, or just someone who always thinks logically and not always so emotional.
Did you take on a fatherly role as well?
Yeah, to Rachel and Jacob for sure.
And even so much, and so how did you take on a fatherly role for Rachel?
For Rachel, I walked her down the aisle when she got married.
And which siblings were you closest to?
Kevin, probably the closest, and then Rachel and Jacob, because we probably spent the most time in the house together.
And what kind of things would you guys do together as a family?
Well, I'm big into cooking, so I would grill a lot. I also enjoy fishing, so I would invite them to go fishing with me. And then obviously we're big Disney fans, so anytime we could go to Disneyland together, we would.
Did you ever do any trips with the extended family?
Yeah.
What kind of trips would you do?
We would go back out to California, and there was one time we stayed at Robert's Cottages, which is just some little houses in Oceanside, and we stayed there for like a week and just hung out on the beach.
When did Kevin move to Utah?
About 3 years ago,
And where did he live?
with my mother.
And how often would you see Kevin?
I would go there, anywhere from like 2 times a week, or like 2 times a month to 4 times like a month. Sometimes Kevin would be there, sometimes he wouldn't be.
Did he have a job?
No,
Okay, so who was supporting him?
my mother.
And what would he do with his free time?
Kevin, he had a laptop, so he would, watch a lot of movies and TV shows. And then if he wasn't doing that, he would be playing pool.
Okay, and did he have a lot of friends?
Yes.
And was he good at pool?
Yes, he was very good.
How good was he at pool?
He would play in competitions and would do very well.
And around July of 2024, had something happened in his pool career that he was excited about?
Yes, he was about to go to a competition in Vegas.
Is it the first time he'd been invited to that kind of competition?
Yes, he was very excited.
Okay. And was he ever able to go to that
No, he was not.
because of this incident?
Yes.
You ever know Kevin to carry a gun on him?
No.
What about using cocaine?
In the past, I've heard stories, but nothing recently.
You never used marijuana? Ever used marijuana that you know of?
No.
And which siblings were closest to your mom?
I would say Katie and Tara.
And how often would you visit your mom?
All the time. Anywhere from once a week to maybe every other week.
And did your mom, does she provide a lot for people in your family?
Yes.
What kind of things would she provide?
She was very big on providing money to whoever kind of needed it in the family, or she'd even buy me groceries sometimes if we ran into each other at Walmart.
Was she involved in your family's life, the kids' lives?
Yes.
How so?
Well, Rachel would always bring her kids over, and she would always, want to be hanging out with them. Any chance that she would get, she would, want to hang out with the kids and with family.
Okay. And did she have a pretty good grasp when you were talking with her about what everybody was doing in the family, kind of the comings and goings?
Yeah, I think so. She talked to everyone else the most, I think. So.
What do you mean everyone else the most?
She just talked to everyone in the family, whereas I might not talk to Rory as much.
Okay. And did you know Matt Rostelli?
Yes.
And how did you know him?
She was married to my sister, Catherine Rostelli.
And how long did you know Matt?
You know, a tiny bit before the wedding, so I mean, like, I guess close to like 10 years, you know, 11 years.
What were your feelings about Matt?
Wasn't my favorite brother-in-law, but I didn't hate him. You know, we got along, so.
And tell me a little bit about your interactions with him. What was he like when we had interactions with him?
He's just a big talker. He, you know, loves to talk your ear off, and so anytime we'd go over to their place, you know, he would just love to talk about, you know, whatever's going on in his life, whether it be, you know, mountain biking or working on any of his vehicles. He just loved to talk.
And when you mean by big talker, what do you mean by that?
Just a chatterbox, just constantly just going.
Was he very friendly?
Yeah, very friendly.
Did he talk so much that some people maybe were a little annoyed by him?
Yeah, we might try to avoid him a little bit, just because he will talk your ear off.
And when did you first become aware that Kate was leaving California to Utah?
Only a few days beforehand.
Okay, and what was your understanding of what was going on?
That Katie was having some issues with Matt and that she wanted to come out here to try to solve some of those issues on her own.
Okay. And was there a plan talked about that something would happen if Matt were to come out that you were aware of or part of?
Can you say that one more time? Yeah.
So at some point, did other people in your family talk to you about what would happen if Matt were to come out and kind of what you guys would do as a family?
Yeah, just loosely, that they wanted, you know, me and Kevin there, just to, yeah, be peacemakers and make sure nothing crazy happened.
Okay. And you weren't on an air tag, were you?
No,
You weren't tracking that?
no.
Okay. And at some point, did that plan where you were supposed to go over to Tracey's house, did that change?
Yes.
And when did that change?
The day that Matt was actually driving down.
On the 12th?
Yes.
And do you remember who told you not to come over?
I had a phone call with Rachel where I had asked if I should come over or not, and then I later got a text saying that from Rachel that I should not come over.
Okay. And did she still say something to you? Did she ask you anything else about Rory? Do you remember?
She asked if Rory wanted to come to my place or not, and we ultimately decided to go to Rachel's.
Okay. One moment.
Thank you. Cross?
Morning, Tim.
Good morning.
You live in Pleasant Grove,
I do.
and you live how far from your mom's house in American Fork?
Like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so very close, right? And you've had opportunity to go to your mom's house many times.
Yes.
You considered yourself a close family.
Yes.
And you talked about that it was discussed that Kevin and Tim should be at the home if Matt came.
Yeah.
And is that because of you being a peacemaker?
Yeah, and also just we knew that Katie and Matt haven't always had the best relationship, and in case something happened, we wanted to be there.
Were you aware that Katie and Matt had a volatile relationship?
Yes.
That it was full of spats and volatility?
Yes.
Okay. And was one of the reasons that they wanted you and Kevin to be there is as a protection?
Yes.
Do you know who asked you to be there, or was it multiple people?
It was kind of a consensus. It wasn't necessarily one person asking. It was just kind of like, do you want me there? And we kind of agreed yes.
And in your conversation with Rachel on July 12th, you had a conversation with her on the telephone, is that right?
Yes.
And it was decided between you and Rachel that it would be best if Rory went to Rachel's house while Matt was at the house?
That was over text. We were more just talking about what we should do, And then the final decisions weren't made until, I believe, Rachel was able to talk to my mom and Katie.
Okay. And then it was decided to let Katie figure out with Matt what she needed to.
Yeah.
Is that the general
I
consensus?
was under the assumption that both Kevin and Jacob were going to be there.
Oh.
So that's why I didn't feel the need to show up as much.
Okay. One moment. That's all I got. Thank you, Tim.
Redirect?
146. Your Honor, I'd like to show this witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 146.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Can I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
And what are they?
Text between me and Rachel?
Is that from July 12th of 2024?
Yes.
They fairly accurately represent the text that you guys had that day?
Yes.
State would move to publish State's Exhibit 146.
So ordered.
So what time was these text messages with Rachel at?
2:33 p.m.
If I could just have you read them to the jury.
I guess Rory doesn't want to worry about her allergies and the bunnies, so she's not gonna come over, not gonna come spend the night here at my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could read that one more time.
I guess Rory doesn't want to worry about the allergies and the bunnies, so she's gonna come spend the night here at my house.
Okay. And so before that, was there some plan that she was going to come to your house?
We weren't exactly sure where she wanted to go, so it was just kind of loose in the air. She can come to my place or she can go to Rachel's.
Okay. And do you recall whether you had the phone conversation with Rachel before or after this text?
I believe it was beforehand.
Okay. If I could have you scroll down again to the next screen one. Okay, go ahead and read that.
Matt should be at Mom's in like 30 minutes. I have Rory here. I think she's got Kevin, Kate, and Jake there.
Okay. And so that was sometime, what time was that at?
9:32 p.m.
And you could take that down. So do you recall if Rachel still had any fear about Matt coming over when she talked to you about Rory coming to your house?
I guess I wouldn't say fear.
But she did have concerns?
Yeah, concerns.
Okay. And if you were going to go and check on things, was ever part of the plan that you would have a gun?
No.
And at any point or any time, did anybody in your family ever call you to go check on the house, after 10 p.m.?
I believe Tara tried to call, but wasn't getting any answers.
Called you?
To call like Mom.
Oh,
and-
did anybody ever call you
Oh,
or text you?
to show up, no. I didn't get any calls until after everything had happened.
Okay. So when did you first learn about what had happened?
I didn't learn about it till the next morning because my phone was on silent.
Okay. Was someone trying to call you?
Yeah, Tara tried to call me several times, and
Okay.
yeah.
And do you remember when you were, do you remember being at your mom's house the day before, on the 11th,
The day before?
on July 11th?
I don't know if I was there the day before.
Okay. When do you remember being at your mom's house?
It was a couple days before. I was doing my breaks in her garage.
Okay. Did you see anything that suggested that Katie was planning on going back to California?
No,
Anything was packed?
nothing was packed.
Okay. Nothing for you.
Recross?
So, you weren't asked to bring a gun?
No, I don't own a gun, so,
Does your mom own a gun?
yes, she did.
Did you know she owned a gun?
Yeah, I did, I did know.
Do you know where she put it?
I don't know where she put it. I know she kept it in a gun case, but I don't know where she kept it.
Just by your hands, can you show us the size of the gun case? It's like a box?
Yeah, just a little box, that little key code thing on it.
Oh, and have you ever accessed it before?
Once before,
Yeah.
once or twice.
For the gun?
Not necessarily for the gun. Sometimes she would keep important papers in there too.
Like maybe birth
Birth
certificate,
certificates, social security cards.
passports?
Mhm.
And so you've had an occasion to put in the code and go in and get
Yes.
what you needed?
Yeah.
And so would it be fair to say that that box is like a shelf box? Meaning it can go on a shelf?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused from his subpoena?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Watabe, please call your next witness.
Your Honor, stay with rest.
All right, counsel, let me see you up here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with the state resting, it is standard practice for us to take a recess. It may be short, it may be long, for the court and the parties to work through some issues, legal issues, and for the defense to look at their next steps that they may take. So I'm going to excuse you back to the jury room. Please don't discuss anything about the case. Keep all my admonitions about research and social media in play in mind at this point, and we'll be back to you as fast as we can.
All right.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Watabe, anything on behalf of the state you need to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Facemyer, anything on behalf of the defense?
No.
All right, we'll take a recess. Mr. Facemyer, it's about 10 to 15 minutes, but if you need more time, just let us know. We're in recess.
All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Let's go back on the record the matter of State versus Grist, case number 24110170. All right. I understand now that with the court's ruling on the state's conspiracy theory, that the defense is ready to proceed forward. Is that correct, Mr. Facemyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jury back out.